are without fear. We are without equal. We walk with the ancient. We forge unbreakable bonds in the spirit realm to defeat the horrors of this one.
Hey guys, I want to show you Diablo IV Season 6's best Spiritborn build. Yes, that's in my opinion, and I say best because this build will kill anything in any direction really fast, teleport to the packs of monsters. It deletes everything, and you can just like set up a macro and watch TV while you're doing it and play with one hand. I mean, it basically trivializes all content in the game, of course. And yeah, that's thanks to Blizzard, you know. Spiritborn wasn't into public test realm, so it got kind of strong. They didn't really have any testing on it, but yeah, Spiritborn is absolutely insane. If you played it all this league, you know it is. And this build here is the one that Datmodz made. I tried a bunch of them on max roll. They were okay, but like the one that Datmodz has been playing is the absolute best. Yes, it does pit 150, so that's a huge bonus if you're wanting to push the hardest content. You do get an achievement for doing 150. I also seen him get to Paragon 300 on this like a week ago. He's a freaking animal. But yeah, this build is my favorite one, and I just wanted to share it with you. Alright, as you see here with the Spiritborn, oddly, your biggest damaging hits are white damage, where normally you're looking at crits as being your big hits, and even bigger ones overpower, which would be the dark orange ones. But with Spiritborn, the white ones do the most damage, and that is because of your Spirit Hall Jaguar. Every 15th time you deal direct damage, it does a big blasting damage that does not crit, but it will basically murder anything instantly. You see 578 billion right there. I've seen them up into the trillions before. But yeah, that's what lets you do these big, massive hits. Alright, so I'll have the link to this build in the description. This is going to be Datmodz build version right here, and we're going to go ahead and start with the Paragon board because I think it's really important for the Spiritborn. And then you also have like a couple different build versions here. The one I like using the most is going to be the current. It's going to be the strongest one, so make sure you check that. And also you make sure it stays verified by Datmodz at Twitch TV. Yeah. Alright guys, I'm going to show you how this build mechanically functions. Basically, your gray mana circle here, Vigor, whenever you attack your main item, the Rod of Kepaleki, it drains all of your gray mana out, and it boosts your damage by 3%. So you can get a roll on it from 1% to 3%. You want to make sure no matter what, the only staff you ever use is a 3% because it'll give you the most. So basically you'll take 3% times how much you have, 262 total resource, and multiply that for an insane amount of damage. So that's why it's so important. Like, I mean, if you get a 1%, you're basically doing 33% of the damage you could possibly do. So it's super important to get a 3%. And then actually on the Rod of Kepaleki, the two most important things are the ones I do have on this staff. It's going to be chance for core skills to hit twice and maximum resource. I mean, the other two are a bonus. And generally, if you're finding like a perfect 4GA one, it's probably duped. Alright, as well too, if you try to trade for a 4GA rod and you're in a group and it's 2 level 1s, it's definitely some duper, so leave right away. Stranger danger. Generally, 4GA ones are like 150 billion or more gold cap plus other materials, so generally like one like this I got right here is about 60 billion. Okay, now I minimalized everything. I got the least amount of gear on as possible to make it work, because the next important, we have a couple things here that makes this build work properly, and Banished Lords is another thing. So after every 275 of your primary resource, your next core skill overpowers. And then we also have the Ring of the Midnight Sun, and you definitely want a 50% roll on this, 47 at the minimum. And then your next important thing is going to be resource generation on the ring right here. So, you see how we're hitting here? Every single time, boom, boom, overpower, overpower. And I'm going to show you how quick we can change that. We take this other ring that does not have the resource generation on it. It still has resource cost reduction. And here we go. See, we're not overpowering all the time like normal. So it's very, very important to make sure you have enough resource generation to be able to overpower every hit. And you have a couple ways of tinkering this, and then also as well, as you see, we only have 262 Vigor, right? Well, that resource cost reduction lets you bring down under your 275 right here, so you're able to still overpower for less. Well, like, yeah, I can put my helmet on and I can go ahead and shoot it back up even more, you know? So, like, up to 293. And we start overpowering again all the time. We're still at it, because we have the very important resource generation on this ring here. And there's a little bit more on the tree. And this is regardless of any build you're playing. Like, even if Datmodz might end up having an error in his build or something, you just want to make sure that you got the appropriate amount of resource generation. And we have nodes here that affect it too. Like, core skills increase all Vigor generation for 3 seconds. Then we also have core skills do more damage but cost more Vigor. And then this one here is like a little filler upper. You get a lot of ranks on this in your staff. If you deal damage and you move, it will top it off. Right now it's topping off, but like, let's say take this ring off here. See, I'm not topped off, but I damaged, then you move, and then it'll start filling back up again. Alright, now I just really want to go over the Paragon board now and kind of discuss the choices that Datmodz made, you know, what glyphs we're using and why, and where all this big damage is coming from. So, on the Paragon board, the glyphs we have, and as you can see on his tree here, I have the same exact one. We're running Colossal. This is your big one. So, you get 2% more increased damage for each stack of resolve you have. So we're really pumping out a lot of resolve. Like, I'm at 30 stacks right now. So that's like 66% more damage. Not only that, with Crushing Fist, you get a lot more from the skill itself here. On Rampant Crushing Fist, you get another 3% for every stack of resolve. So you have up to 96% more. So resolve is like your best friend. That's why you want... It'd be nice to have 13. I still haven't got it. It cost me a fortune. I did get 13 on my pants, like I'll show you later. And yeah, so you want that resolve to get that massive damage. And then also on the Paragon board, we'll be using Hubris. This one is really huge. He kind of was like one of the first people to start using this, and then all the rest of the people are adapting it as well. It's become like the main glyph for all the endgame pit pushing builds because of the resource for mainly the quills. But basically it gives you a huge 327% bonus to magic nodes. And here, all these magic nodes, we have all these resource nodes giving you a whole bunch, 17 each. So that really skyrockets your resources up to multiply with your rod. Then next we just have Spirit, kind of obvious. Big crit damage, you definitely want that. Outmatch physical damage, you know, we're limited to physical damage with Crushing Fist. Obviously, it's not Quill, you don't have lightning damage. Then Headhunter, another one, basically just because of what we're limited to, because of it being a physical build, we're using Headhunter for the extra damage. And also down here, like if you let's go find my Headhunter glyph. So if you like, once you start getting your extra Paragon points and stuff, you can basically just start dumping the extra ones in the decks here, and you'll get 10 for each node. So that's a good like in-game Paragon dump. Once you start getting extra points, you know where you want to throw them. Just throw them in this Headhunter one and just keep boosting your decks up. Mainly really the biggest thing with Spiritborn is going to be your... trying to find the absolute main one here. The Bugged Almighty King of all damages. Infighter. Nope, that's not it. Alright, where is she? Revealing, not it. Viscous Shield. This is your almighty maximum damage. Greatest node in the game. So you do 1% more increased damage for each 3% of your maximum life you have as barrier. So life, 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 life. You want life on everything. Life no matter what. All your buffs, you want life. Life gives you tons of damage. Tons and tons of damage. So you want your fortitude. You want your Redamine Buzz. Anything that gives life, you want it. Like, I've seen versions of builds even end up going like instead of having resolve stacks, they'll end up doing life on Quill. But technically, you don't want life over resolve for Crushing Fist because you double dip on it. All right, so if you're looking at Datmodz guide and you're looking at like, man, how do I make this stuff? Some of this might be confusing if you're newer to Diablo or you just haven't played in a couple seasons. We have this new thing called Masterworking and Tempering. So basically, we got like right here, okay, we got these pants that have 5 stats on them. I'm like, well, how do I get this barrier generation and maximum resolve? Well, you want 13 stacks of resolve. And then you got to do your aspect you want. So I have another pair of pants here. It's going to be an actual upgrade because I'm going to have dex and life and then basic skills. So we got 2 forms. Actually, all 3 give damage because life gives damage. So we need to go ahead and temper these pants and get the stuff on there that we need in order to masterwork it. So you just go to your blacksmith. You come here to this tempering page. Go to your defensive one. We're going to do that one first. Here we got it right here, Spiritborn Resolve. We need to hit this until we get max resolve stacks. Boom, we got it. This never happens. I did not set this up for the video. This never happens on your first try. There's no way. So you go ahead and throw that on there. Then utility, we're going to go Worldly Fortune. Nope, match. We want barrier generation because that works with our viscous shield again. And of course, see, we're not going to get the first time now. We'll just keep re-rolling this till we get barrier generation. Thorns, sweet. Alright, there we go, we got it. So, now our pants are tempered. So we got the max resolve. We got our barrier generation. We got 2+, so we're basically all set up right. So, this is when it starts to get expensive. This is when you need gold. So, like, if you don't have enough gold, like I have 11 billion right now, and that's not a lot, but I mean, it's a good chunk to do any kind of work you need to do. Selling max roll aspect ancestrals is like the best way to get a good chunk of gold. So you sell any good damage aspect to somebody and trade, you're going to make a lot of money and you'll be able to do this as much as you want. So now we got to sit here and masterwork over and over and over until we get those resolve stacks to 13%.
Damn fine piece.
So, dex. So now we got to reset them again. So every time we reset, it costs 5 million gold on all these mats. So we just keep doing this over and over until you eventually hit it. Yep. So yeah, you actually have to hit this on your way up to 12. So every 4 upgrades, you get a chance to upgrade it. So you just got to keep doing it over and over again till you get. Now, so this is just what you need to do to get like the best in slot pants. You know, you got to sit here and keep doing this over and over. Now I did do it with these pants, but I didn't spend that long. Just maybe 10 tries or so until I got double max resolve. But if you want to get your 13 resolve stacks, this is what you have to do. All right, so like 30 billion years later, I did finally hit 13 resolve stacks. And I mean, I spent a lot of time, like, oh, I don't even want to tell you, like 400k stacks, or about 400k mats, just a lot. Yeah, I spent a lot of money doing this, and I finally did get them. So I just wanted to show you it can happen. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and link the rest of Datmodz' build in the description. And basically here, what we got left is your skill tree. Pretty basic, self-explanatory. We got a lot of stuff that works together to get you lots of damage. And we already went over the Paragon board. The Mercenaries. Really, the biggest deal with the Mercenaries is you gotta have Ra here, because he'll give you a little bit more armor. But he's the only way you can get Fortify on a Spiritborn, and Fortify gives you a ton of damage. So you absolutely must have Ra here. And that pretty much wraps it up. I'm going to go ahead and be coming out with the Spiritborn version here soon. But, yep, this build's great. It's definitely the most efficient one to farm with, I would say, between this and the Evade build. But I feel like this one can do Pit 100 much easier than Evade. Evade can, but you got to have a little more investment into it. So this build is super wonderful for starting out. It's a really great build, and you'll love it just because it's just so efficient. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Alright, so you can see here, this animal, he's playing this build. He's always just deleting everything with it. Such a great build. He's
that a
almost
rap
300 in
song?
this
Welcome
video,
to the
but
brand
yep,
new Bugatti?
just an animal. Absolutely annihilating everything. And also, you can find Datmodz on Twitch. I don't think he's playing D4 right now, but he might be back after the patch. But yep, here it is, man. You have a great time, guys. Catch you later.